guys, Absolute Duelist here, coming at you with another One Piece video. And in today's One Piece video, I'm going to be showcasing to you guys my first place Kinemon deck profile. Yes, we've kind of started to change things a bit because I want to start trying different decks, and this week we went to locals and I came first with Kinemon. Yep, a really cool deck in this format that essentially says my stuff is gonna cost less Don. And honestly, I really did enjoy this deck. It's a nice change from playing like Trafalgar Law that just plays a ton of one drops. In this deck we're actually playing some really big cards and we don't need to have tons of characters to actually win. All we need to do is play the most essential ones, which is stuff like Okiku, Yamato, and Odin, and then just keep swinging at the opponent's face while keeping hand advantage to try and stop our opponent from, killing us. And honestly, this is a really cool leader as well. Its ability is essentially, while you have one or less characters, you can decrease the next land of 1/0 card that costs 3 or more by 1 cost. So it essentially makes all of your land of 1/0 cards cheaper to play, and he's really cool because of that. So he's our leader, and I really did like him throughout the entire tournament. He's a really cool leader, and I've been testing him as well, so had a lot of fun with him. But yeah, just before we actually get into the actual list, let's go ahead and talk about what we played. So I played a ton of test games online, and I played quite a few games before the tournament actually started. I only really lost 2 because, well, if you're going to have everything on the curb to beat me on the curb, it is what it is. But it was a very small locals. This was only like a 3-round locals this week, where we played round 1 Whitebeard, absolutely smacked. Round 2 was against a Smoker player who we smacked, and you actually should see that on the channel. It should have been the Monday video. And then round 3 was against Luffy, playing a sort of Whitebeard variant of Luffy, where instead of playing all the Whitebeard leader, you're playing all the Whitebeard cards with Luffy as the leader, which was actually an interesting match to play. So yeah, not a very big locals come first up, but the deck was actually fun, and I want to showcase my list to you guys because in other games I've been testing, I've been doing really well, and I feel like it's something nice to show you guys, to show you how this deck runs. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the actual list. So starting off, we're playing the not worst searcher in the game now for Momonosuke. He's very important. Essentially what he does is you rest him to go ahead and search any land of 1/0 card from the top 5 cards of your deck. You play 4 of him, and he's essentially just a free searcher, free consistency, and he can get you to stuff like Yamato, Odin, and just things that can keep the game going, like Okiku as well. We also play along with him for Bonnie. Now, Bonnie isn't as good as Momonosuke because we're only playing Bonnie really because we have a couple cards that we can search, such as some events and also like specific counters just to allow us to, not die, and blockers as well. So she's only there for that, but she's still quite useful at times because she can give us more hand advantage, which is decent, and if the opponent attacks it, it's essentially a blocker as well at that point because they wasted an attack on the Bonnie. Next we play Toki. We play 4 Toki. Essentially we're playing 9 Odins in the deck, so she's basically a 1-cost blocker with 1k counter, so she's really good. Having the block on her is really nice. If they do kill the Kozuki Odins, it does suck a bit, but if they don't, this is a blocker, it's great. We don't lose it, and she's great for like protecting like our actual Odin as well, and also being able to protect our life and things along those lines. And the best part is she has a counter on her, so it just keeps us alive through multiple different means. And then for the last 1 cost, we play 3 Beijing. Pretty much he doesn't have counter. I wanted to play other stuff, and I felt like pretty much I'm learning more and more about this game where you really want to just have a load of cards that say counter, and if you don't have anything that says counter, you're gonna die. So this being a blocker that's a 1-drop is nice, but it's not great when, you're gonna die, so it is what it is, right? Also, I don't really want to play a ton of 1-drop in this deck as well because we've got Smoker running around, and giving Smoker a free extra 1k power, nah, not really what I want to be doing. Going on to 2-cost cards, though, we're playing 4 Killer, which is just essentially here because he's a blocker. He can go ahead and draw us advantage. He gets us more counters in the hand. He's just essentially really nice because of that. So we play 4 of him. 4 Scratchman Apu. He is essentially just a 2k counter. He has no other purpose in the game. He's just going to be a counter. We don't ever play him. So yeah, just cards that we search off Bonnie to give us protection and stuff like that. Going on to 3-cost cards, where the deck actually gets into the land of 1/0 cards now, we're playing 4 Raizo. He's really nice. He says when he attacks, if you have 2 or more rested characters, you go ahead and draw a card. So he's just really nice because he keeps our hand advantage up. He's a 4k character, so we just put a Don on him and we can swing into our opponent's leader unless it's Whitebeard. And he goes ahead and kills all the little stuff while giving us draws. He's really nice just because of that. He's hand advantage, which also can just attack. It's pretty decent, like nothing really wrong with him there. And then the most important card and the best card to have on the curb for Okiku. Okiku is absolutely insane in this format just for the fact that we're going to always play her on our first turn, most likely, because literally we're going to reduce it by 2, we want to go second, play her on the first turn, and then next turn we can go ahead and swing, rest the blocker, kill the blocker, everything along those lines. And also, she's just really insane being able to rest blockers like Borsalinos, Laws, Marcos, just anything that's a problem that we can just rest and then kill. And if the 8-drop Odin dies, this is also the card that you're going to play mostly off of it. So you want to be playing 4 of it, so you always have at least 1 in the deck. She's really strong and really, really powerful. And then the only other free cost we're playing is for Izo. Essentially, this card serves 2 purposes. Purpose number 1, we go ahead and utilize it to go ahead and rest 4 cost or lower blockers. It allows us to get through the blockers like Borsellino and Marco. Second reason we play it, it's a 2k counter. If it wasn't 2k counter, probably wouldn't play it, but we would still have to consider it because it's a Land of Wano card, it's searchable for Momonosuke, and it can rest things. But the most important about this card is it has 2k counter. Like, literally, the way I built this deck is to have as much counter as possible, and having the ability to 2k counter is really strong in this deck, so you want to have as many ways to do that as possible. And I really struggled with trying to make this deck have so many 2k counters, and in the end I think I managed to get it onto like 11 2k counters in the deck. So you'll be able to see what the next one is, which is actually the 4 cost cards and the last 2k counter in the deck, which is free Beppo. Now, you're probably thinking, why are you playing Beppo? His only purpose, just like Scratch Manapu, he's a 2k counter. In this deck and in this game, so many people swing with like 1 Don on a 5k character, or they're just swinging with their Whitebeard. I want 2k counters to prevent that from hitting, so we play free Beppo. I was originally playing 4, but things need to be put in, space is a thing, so we went down to 3. Now, if you're not playing the Beppo, you can play things like 7 cost Kid, you can play 5 cost Law because it's a blocker, but I wanted things that had counter on it, and this came in clutch a lot of the time, having the 2k counter. So I am very happy to be playing Beppo because it says counter. If green gets more 2k counters in the future that are searchable, I'll play those. But right now, we're playing Beppo. So yeah. And then going on to the only other 4 costs we play 2 Yamato, the 4 cost one. Reason behind this is, 1, its name is Kozuki Odin, so it makes Toki a blocker. 2, on play it rests a 6 or lower costing character. And 3, it's a 6k character that goes ahead and swings into Whitebeard. That's the entire point of the card. It swings into Whitebeard, it can rest 6 or less blockers, so it can rest Laws, every other kind of blocker in the game, very easily, and it can swing into Whitebeard. That's it. It also becomes an Odin, which can make Toki live, but probably it just swings into Whitebeard. It can swing into Whitebeard. I don't play more of it because it doesn't have counter on it, so I don't really like it, but it's still necessary because of that. So yeah, we're playing 2 of the Yamato. And then going on to 5 cost cards, we're playing 4 of the best card in the game, the 5 cost Yamato. Now, the best curb you can have in this deck is turn 1 Okiku for 2, turn 2 Yamato for 4. This curb means that if you're against black, they're not going to be able to Sakazuki the Yamato, you're going to have the Okiku to swing and deal with a blocker. That's what that is really good for. And also, the reason why I think this is the best card in the game is because it has double attack and it has banish, meaning if this hits, if this connects, your opponent is essentially losing 2 life and they don't go to the hand. The importance of life going to the opponent's hand is so strong that them just getting more cards, having more ways to counter, no, I don't want that to happen, so we play 4 of this. It's insanely good because it's got 1k counter, 5k power, it's playing for a 4 cost, it's got double attack and banish on it, and it becomes Kozuki Odin, so it makes Toki live. The card is absolutely insane, it's really strong, and if you can go ahead and connect on turn 3 an 11k Yamato, you're just going to win, and either they're going to waste a ton of cards in their hand trying to prevent them from getting hit, or they're going to lose 2 life and not get anything to their hand. So this card is absolutely insane. I love the card in the deck, and honestly, as I said, Okiku turn 1, Yamato turn 2, and then swing with the Yamato for like 11k or 10 with an Okiku that has rested the blocker. Whole point of the card, really, really strong. And then going on to 8 cost, we don't play any 6 or 7 cost cards. We play 3 Kozuki Odin. Now, Kozuki Odin is an absolutely insane card as well. What he essentially does is you can rest free of your Don to go ahead and restand him. So he's essentially an 8k swing twice per turn. Now, a lot of games in this deck end with putting 7 Don on Odin, swinging into your opponent for 15k, and then your opponent counters it, then you restand the Odin and do it again. That is the entire purpose of Odin, and it's just really, really strong. Now, there are sometimes things that change with him where he dies, so you go ahead and play any free cost land of 1 card from your deck, so you can play Raizo or Okiku, most likely Okiku to do with blockers. But, like, the majority of the time, if he survives, you're just going to keep swinging for, like, 15k in the face, and your opponent's not going to be able to do anything about it, so they're going to die. So, yeah, like, the card is really insane, really strong, and it's really the heart and soul of the deck. So, like, it's just, like, this deck is Odin, we've got 4 Tokis, and we've got 9 Odins in the deck, essentially because of Yamato. And then the last 3 cards actually in the deck is 3 Punk Gibson. Reasoning behind this is it's a 4k counter. Yes, it takes 2 Don, which is a lot in this deck when you really think about it, because at times you're going to be playing like 7 Don to play the Odin, and if you don't have enough Don to actually utilize this because you need to play like blockers or stuff, it's very, very unfortunate. But the reason we're playing this is for 2 reasons. One, it's a 4k counter that can go ahead and rest any 4 or less character that your opponent controls, so you can go ahead and rest Borsellino's, any of the blockers in the game, or go ahead and rest another thing that could swing at you. And 2, it's got a trigger on it that says you can just rest one of your opponent's characters. So if your opponent has like a 10 cost character, then you can just go ahead and rest it, send it to the graveyard, and not have to take the additional damage for that turn. So Gibson is just a really nice card, it's a really good addition, and I like how it works in the deck. So we're playing 3 of it, and it's also searchable with Bonnie as well, which is really nice. So yeah, that is the list, guys. That is my current Kinemon list. I really do like this list. As I said, the only changes you could probably make is probably take the Beppos out and stuff, but I really, really like having a decent amount of 2k counters in the deck. Like, I think 8 is too small, seeing as what we're playing, as I showed, like for 2k counters, we're playing the Izos and we're playing the Apus, like nothing else is a 2k counter. So I wanted the additional 3 2k counters in the Beppo, just so we can always guarantee that we have that counter to be able to survive, especially against Whitebeard when it goes up to huge damage. Like, having the additional 2k counters really does come in clutch. But yeah, guys, that is the list of my Kinemon. I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope you did like the list. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And yeah, do you like Kinemon? I love him. He's a really cool card. And look at the it looks so cool, guys. He's sweating. He is literally sweating. So yeah, but thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Absolute Duelist signing out. Later.